What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Unknown Coatings channel. My name is Sean, and on this channel I try to bring you deep into the world of powder coating. A question I get asked a ton, which is kind of what led to one of the chemical stripper comparison videos, is do I actually need chemical stripper starting out? The answer is no. Technically you don't. But I think after you watch this video, you're probably going to understand why it will benefit you. I go over it a little more in the end, like who might need it versus who might not need it. But I think I figured out a pretty good little test basically to show you the difference between having chemical stripper versus not having it. So let's get to the video. Alright guys, so I figured kind of a good way to show this might be taking parts that are identical and blasting one entirely, or blasting one of each I should say entirely, and then stripping one and blasting it just to show the difference in timeline. So we have a set of brand new 6-piston Wilwood calipers, a set of old used Subaru calipers, and a set of Volk the GTV faces. So I'm guessing that these Volk faces are not going to blast super well, so I'm probably only going to put like 15 minutes into them, or into the one rather. And I don't know how well this Wilwood caliper setup is going to blast. I can tell you that the Subaru ones blast pretty easily, but I figured this might be a good way of comparing, stripping versus blasting, or I should say blasting versus stripping then blasting. So I'm going to go put the ones in the stripper and we'll time that. Alright, so now that we got these things stripped through the chemical stripper, gonna put some plugs in, some of the brake stuff. We're gonna dry them all off first, obviously. Put some plugs in and then get them into the blasting cabinet to do like an accumulated time between stripping and blasting. Alright guys, so as you saw, I don't remember exactly how many minutes were on this. I'll throw it up in this video. This is mostly done, just still a little bit of stuff on the inside. This part actually blasts away pretty quick. But you can see this one, I think it was near 10 minutes, somewhere in there. This one, I spent 15 minutes blasting this in my setup. For more setup, you can check out, more about my setup, you can check out episode 23. It has a lot of my equipment information in that episode. But this is 15 minutes. I got basically half done. All the inside still needs to be blasted, so it's not even actually half done, but it's close. So Next thing we got is the faces. So I'm going to throw one of these in the blast cabinet right now and see what happens. Alright guys, so let's go over this real quick. As far as the Subaru calipers go, the one that we just blasted, we spent 13 minutes blasting that one, and it's most of the way done. You can kind of see there's some stuff inside here. This media out. Inside this still needs blast a little bit more. This probably only take another 30 seconds to blast all that. Versus the strip and blast version, so this was 5 minutes in the stripper, and then spent 3 minutes and 45 seconds blasting it, and it's ready to go on the inside. So obviously a pretty big difference there. As far as these Willwood calipers, this one we spent 15 minutes blasting and didn't even do half. I mean, honestly, it's you can see most of this is done on the outside, but we didn't do any of the inside to match this half that had gotten done. As far as, I mean, 15 minutes for that feels like it still needs a lot of work. We had this one in the stripper for 5 minutes and then spent 7 minutes and 20 seconds blasting it. And the only thing I didn't intentionally blast was the inside, because I'm actually not going to be blasting that part or coating it. So, and then the wheel face, I only spent a minute blasting the other one just because it clearly was going to take way too long to blast this. I put this for 10 minutes in the stripper and blasted the whole thing in 6 minutes. So we'll go over this here in just a second. All right, guys, so the way that I see it is, do you need chemical stripper? The answer is no. Just like you don't need a sandblasting cabinet. But it's going to make your life much, much easier. Even if you don't have one of the strippers like I'm using, rim strip, there's some other, great alternatives that are covered in one of my last videos that will at least get you in this same ballpark. So kind of just for like the general way that I'm breaking this down, the Subaru caliper you saw took me 13 minutes to blast. So if we were doing 4 of those calipers, understanding that the front ones are actually about twice the surface area as those rear ones that you saw, you're talking 52 minutes just doing 4 calipers that size. As opposed to the strip version, where you can strip all 4 at the same time and then blast them, you'd be looking somewhere around 21 minutes, including the strip time. That's to do all 4 calipers. So you're talking, an hour versus 20 minutes or close to that. The Willwood calipers, it's about 2 hours, where you figure 15 minutes to do less than half. All 4 of those calipers were the same size. So you figure, 30 minutes to do a full caliper. So you're looking at 2 hours, probably longer than 2 hours, because I didn't even do the full half because I hadn't done the inside of those ones. Versus stripping them, you strip them all at the same time for 5 minutes and spend 7 minutes, so is it 7 minutes and 20 seconds blasting each one. You're talking 35 minutes to do everything. 35 minutes versus over 2 hours. The face of that wheel, I didn't blast the whole thing, as you saw. I rage quit on it super fast. The way that I see that one is pretty straightforward. It's 10 minutes in the stripper for all 4 faces, and then 6 minutes of blasting per face. You're talking, 35 minutes-ish to do all 4. I don't know. I get this question a lot, and it's hard for me just to be like, yeah, go spend a bunch of money on chemical stripper, because I'm also the guy that preaches trying to learn things, easier, more efficient ways of doing things without spending a bunch of money. But ultimately, the stripper is going to be beneficial for you, especially if you're doing a lot of stuff. If you're just doing your own products in your garage, you probably don't need to do the stripper. Or if you love sandblasting. I hate sandblasting. I've been fortunate enough to have girlfriends and such in my life who have loved doing sandblasting, which is ridiculous to me. But I know there are people out there who love sandblasting. So if you like sandblasting and you don't want to spend money, spend your time doing it. A lot of people, it's easier for them to spend their time than it is for them to spend their money. So can't take away from either one. Hopefully you guys found some use in this video. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do that. Turn on all notifications. Hit that like button. Bump our videos up even higher. And we'll keep working towards getting 10,000 subs. See you guys next time.